Junior's been on an amazing journey, and Junior's now a doctor, doctor. So he's got two doctorates. One of the leading intellectual lights on youth violence and gangs. He founded the St Giles Trust SOS Gangs Exit Service 15 years ago. It's now one of the largest gangs exit services in the UK. Junior is considered probably one of the world's leading lights at conferences in being able to understand it from different perspectives, and has recently become a father and an OBE. So Junior, it's been quite a journey for you. Can't tell you how proud I am that you're here to talk to us all, and impart some of your wisdom on us mortals.
Thanks, Rob. It's been great. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, gosh, yeah, it's coming up to 15 years. And I think the thing that really guts me, like when we started doing the work, we had record numbers of serious youth violence. Do you remember we had the peak back in 2008? And back then I think it was like 52 or 62. And everybody was shocked and horrid. And like now, if you said those sort of figures, we'd actually say that would be a good year. We're talking about 150 people dying. Everyone says 149, but there was that child whose mum got killed, and he managed to survive for 4 days. And we're back to a stage now where there's multiple killings, and violence is once again out there, and it's a massive thing for us in terms of the work we're doing. I just want to applaud the work of Carly and what I still consider to be the best Children's Commissioner of our time, and Longfield. I think there's been a number of really good points, salient points made so far. I think the first thing is it's easy to talk about the headlines, right? County line, CCE, but these labels detract from the reality. I sat down with a mother literally a few weeks ago, and she was talking to me about her moment-to-moment reality of knowing that her child had actually gone missing. I don't know if anyone on the call today is a parent, but just imagine your child just that actually now suddenly you can't reach them. Now actually suddenly they're not answering their phone. How do you respond? Just imagine what's going on. What are you thinking? How's your heart reacting? This mother took it upon herself to go out there and look for her son, and she couldn't find him. And this is one of the problems that we have. This is always going to be somebody else's problem until it happens to you, until it actually happens to someone that's in your family. Who takes responsibility? This was one of the big things that happened when we first started talking about county lines. Well, the areas where the kids were showing up, they were just shipping them back. As far as they were concerned, it wasn't their problem. And the areas that they were coming out of, the county line was perhaps coming out of London. Well, actually, the kids aren't offending in their area, so it's not their problem. This is a massive thing. Who takes responsibility for this at the table? Is this going to be law enforcement? Because we know that drugs are involved, but actually we know that there's a level of vulnerability. These are individuals that are coerced, that are exploited. Do the exploited even know that they're exploited? Often I hear these conversations and people say, well, why does she allow these guys to exploit her? Why does he chase this thing when we're offering this? Why are they continually chasing this stuff? I honestly think that this is part of the problem. The labels have dehumanized the reality. The people that we're working with, they come from multiple disadvantage. So it isn't about actually, okay, just be a good boy, just do the right thing. Actually, during lockdown, I was talking to one of the kids and he's saying, right, you must stay six foot away from somebody else. He said, Junior, my bedroom is multiple occupancy. Yeah. Parents being told that they have to teach from home. I know the Children's Commissioner said this, there was loads of kids who just basically didn't get an education, and there were loads of families that we work with that didn't even have internet connection. They were talking about the Eat Out to Help Out scheme. I'm sorry, for many of our families, eating out isn't even a luxury, it's a figment of their wildest imaginations. These are families that are suffering. absolutely suffering in so many different ways. And then what are we supposed to do? No, we're supposed to tell them, just do what society tells you to do. I've even heard practitioners quick fixing, just your life will be better with that CV. Your life will be better with that job. I'm sorry, if it was that easy, many of these kids, their life choices would be completely different. So what this boils down to is it's a time resource, it's time and resource heavy. And the reason why we're so good at what we do through SOS and the other services at St Giles is because we've got that valuable edge of lived experience. It gives us an edge because we know what the reality is, and we've actually got the time and the resources to sit down. You know, I'm not blaming any worker out there. There's a few people I recognise. I saw a few people entering the room as the session started, and I wanted to point out that it's not a lack of goodwill. Like, we've done work up and down the country. There are fantastic workers out there across all the bodies of practice. But here's the thing I wanted to say: the systems are working against them. The systems are absolutely working against. I've sat down with social workers. Jay, just show me the shortcut. I've sat down with police officers. Like, if you can show me how to build communication and rapport with these young people, I'll take it. But the framework's sedated and everything's working against them. So police officers don't get promoted on how many community relationships they build. Yeah, social workers, a social worker yesterday was saying, I hear what you're saying about building relationships, but I've got 20 young people to see in the day. I just don't have the time. Yeah, so we are really, really good at meeting that need. And there's something else that we're really good at. We're really good at going into the young people's space and imparting the knowledge that they're going to need to make better choices. I'm talking about services that we've done, such as SOS Plus, which goes into schools, colleges, community centres, and really just unpacks and de-glamorizes that reality, but also imparts tools. And I think these are real key things when we're talking about the humanistic element. Who's going to sit down with a family and really go through all of the different options that are available to you? I've read serious case review after serious case review, and parents talk about not being believed, approaching services over and over again, and then when something happens, like their child ends up stabbed, they're the ones that feel blamed. And this is what I mean. It really does need a lot of time, a lot of resources, and a lot of energy. And it is thanks to our supporters that we've been able to do this work. But County Lines is consistently evolving. And that's why we need to continually get that support in order to be in the spaces where the young people need us. Because without us, who's going to be there for them? And that is a massive question, is what's going to happen next? And because we know that County Lines is just one facet of a much bigger picture, which includes child criminal exploitation, human trafficking, sex trafficking, there's going to be a lot more happening out there. Drugs is just one element of it.